Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Simon. Good morning once again on this fine Wednesday. It is even earlier than normal. It is 7 o'clock in the morning because of the complexities of daylight saving and the fact that the UK and the US doesn't share the same daylight saving times. Our clocks don't go forward until this Sunday, whereas I believe the clocks went forward almost 2 weeks ago. For the US, that means that the Mandalorian is out an hour earlier. And you know how you can tell it's an hour earlier? Because the sun is super low in the sky and beaming right onto the webcam. I cannot... the blind is broken on that window, so I can't move the blind down. So I'm hoping that in the time it takes me to talk through this introduction, the sun will have raised up enough to stop beaming onto the camera and causing all kinds of visual issues. So if it looks a little bit different in the intro here than it will in the main reaction, that's why. I've got Zuko here trying to eat some chocolate biscuits, which is fantastic. Chocolate is toxic to cats, so please don't die. But yes, we're back with episode number 4 of The Mandalorian. At the end of this episode, we'll be halfway through the series, and it feels weird because, you know, this show has had some pacing issues, I think. It does feel a little bit confused at times. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed last week's episode. I enjoyed having almost an hour on Coruscant. But I'm still asking the question almost halfway into the season, where are we going? What is the story here? Because, you know, as fun as it was, that first episode feels a little redundant, because essentially all it was Mando being given an excuse to go to Tatooine to get R5, and then to move on to, you know, Mandalore, which, you know, he could have really just started, you know, by going to Tatooine. That first episode, you know, really could have been kind of cut out, and you wouldn't have lost anything too major. You know, and last week's episode, as much as I enjoyed it, for the most part, really didn't focus on Mando. You know, he was in it for about 10 minutes. And again, the be-all and end-all of it was that he went back to the covert and they redeemed him. They accepted him as one of their own, as well as Bo-Katan, which is interesting. You know, that's, for me, probably the most interesting part of the season so far is Bo-Katan's apparent religious experience. Ever since she saw the mythosaur at the end of season, at the end of episode 2, she seems to have been kind of in a bit of a daze. She's been stuck. I don't know if she had a moment of revelation, and she was, you know, kind of even questioning her own faith. You know, kind of asking questions of, well, I've made fun of this covert and this ancient way of the Mandalore, but maybe there's something to it. You know, maybe that's what's been going on in their head. But it is true. She's not taken off her helmet. She bathed in the waters. She is redeemed. Now, I don't expect her to stay redeemed. Because, again, I just don't think she's that kind of character. You know, I think she'll tease it, but ultimately it won't happen. And, you know, again, the question I'm asking is, where in the hell is Moff Gideon? You know, Moff Gideon, who, you know, we had the first mention of in the last episode, you know, escaped from his tribunal, but we've not yet seen him. And again, my other question is, where in the hell is this season even going? By now, in the other 2 seasons, we knew what the objective was. You know, first season, Din had to save the child from the Empire. Second season, he had to get him to a Jedi to return him to his kind. This season, we're almost halfway through, and we're still kind of uncertain as to what it really is. I think people assumed that it was going to be, you know, Din redeeming himself was going to be the story, but he's kind of already done that. So it's like, where do we go from here? But, you know, we'll jump in. We'll find out. Episode number 4 is on its way, so if Zuko will let me, because he's right here, right in my face, we'll watch episode number 4. Again, it's like, I know the child Mando helmets are based off of the toys, but it's just having a big visor like that is a bit weird. Also, this is a huge waste of ammo. Like, how did they practice when they were in the caverns under Navarro? They didn't have like a beach to shoot or to fly. He's a crab.
Next challenger.
Oh god, he's gonna kill a kid. Oh, apparently this is the big dude's son. I've read a theory.
If he is ever to rise from foundling to apprentice, he must learn. Judge.
He's just gonna fucking force snap his neck.
He is too young to speak the creed, and so too young to wear a helmet.
Then he's too young to fight.
Ooh. Has this kid had a haircut? Because his hair is now...
Unless one knows. Is that not the creed?
Oh my god. It's so small.
My dad was the same way.
Each has 3 darts.
Yeah, you can see the big guy in the background watching. Apparently that's his kid. So this is going to deepen the rivalry even more between him and Mando.
Begin.
Oh, you done pissed him off.
Don't look at me, look at him. It's okay. Show them.
He might take that a bit too literally.
There you go.
Did you teach him that?
Why didn't the kid just fire free in the beginning?
One doesn't speak unless one knows.
Oh, not another monster, seriously. Oh, fuck. Only 4 of them went? They almost all had jetpacks. Why is only 4 of them followed? Also, fuck this place. Why are you here? Yeah. Clever, Bo. Clever. Oh, that's a good shot. Look at that.
I know how to get there. We should muster up a hunting party and go after him.
I mean, the kid's probably dead by now.
I scouted where it lives, and
If we use jetpacks, the beast will hear.
It would kill the child.
Why hasn't it killed the child already?
then the piece of Paramurid. I used to climb them in basic training.
Oh. His little walk will never not be cute. I wonder if this is where he's going to have a flashback.
The Forge can reveal weaknesses.
Look at his sad face. There's them live action clone troopers again. He looks even younger there.
Everything's gonna be alright, kid.
Ahmed Best. No way. It is Jar Jar. And he's a dual wielder. Or at least right now he is. How many people for a moment were thinking, oh my god, it's Mace Windu! Before he came into focus. Holy shit. I'm loving some of those prequel sound effects. This is crazy. Getting to see those gunships in live action is awesome. Holy fuck. That's a Naboo. That's a Naboo ship.
Take the ship. It's fueled and ready to go. Come on.
Oh, those blaster sounds. Those blaster sounds, yes. So the Naboo helped? Uh-oh. V-Wings. Damn. So I wonder if Kelleran is still out there.
Foundling Grogu.
So he's now resistant against stab wounds and blaster bolts to the chest. That's nice. It looks a little bulky, but that's nice. I'd love it if they got there and it was just like licking up the bones of the child.
The target is on the top of this peak.
It's like, yeah, you guys took like a good number of hours and he was hungry.
And climb at first light.
When you get your food, you go off to find a place where you can take off your helmet.
That is impractical. And we've seen him eat in front of people. He like slightly lifts his helmet, drinks the soup. She does seem to be quite respectful of the traditions. Like, obviously they say it's happened to other foundlings. Like, why have they not just gone and killed this fucker?
He's my son.
Yeah, there you go. I knew it. Let's go down. Ragnar. Oh, fuck! It's got its own babies! It's an impressive looking model. Oh, no. Wait. Wait, hold on. I got questions. It's a good thing he's being very gentle with his jaws with the kid, you know? Like, if he was just to bite down a bit too hard, and that kid gets cracked open. There's always a bigger fish. I'm guessing that was one of the monsters that we saw in the first episode.
Are you okay? This is the way.
Now I think that's essentially killed Pax. You know, I don't see Pax surviving the season now. Yes, this is how we clap.
And we have brought you 3 more foundlings in need of care and training.
The baby birds. How the fuck did everyone fit on there? I mean, why wouldn't you want the Mythosaur? That's such a cool logo.
Say if I told you I saw one.
When you choose to walk the way of the Mandalore, you will see many things.
She doesn't believe her.
But it was real.
This is the way.
That's a great line to get out of, like, the most awkward conversations, isn't it? Why don't you want to date me? This is the way. So, yeah, you may have noticed the camera moving around a little bit there again. The sun is very bright at this time in the morning, and my window is placed exactly where it rises. This episode was, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, it was good in terms of its storytelling. I do have my problems with it because, again, it feels a little bit like we're getting the journey of Bo-Katan rather than Din Djarin. Like, honestly, these first 4 episodes feel more like they've been for the journey of Bo than anyone else. Like, for her kind of initiation and her religious experience into, you know, the coverts. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. But, like, give her own show at that point, you know? I think, you know, we're also invested in Din and Grogu at this point that, you know, yeah, having other characters develop is great, but it kind of needs to be served alongside, you know, the main characters as well. And so far, like, I think Din's story has stalled at the expense of Bose. And again, I think this episode being the shortest of the series, it falling back on some tropes that we've already had even in this season. The monster on this kind of planet trope felt a little bit weak to me. And some of the storytelling elements just didn't make logical sense either. I know I'm going to nitpick here, and I know that some people don't really care, but, for me, it does kind of make a difference. That bird was about to feed the child to its own children, right? The Foundling. Why did it wait until that very moment? There's coincidences and then there's bullshit. Birds also don't feed, things live. If you go and look at nature, watch a bird go and pick up a worm and kind of feed it to its young. Typically, the worm won't be alive by the time the young get to it. And I know that some of the armor that people have here is Beskar, but the Foundlings are definitely not wearing Beskar. So, as strong as Mandalorian armor is typically, when it's not Beskar, one little crunch from that bird, and that kid is dead. This was just a way that this episode served kind of three purposes. One was to introduce the kid as being Pax's son, to give Pax a little bit more background. And also, I think Pax is probably going to die come the end of this season now. Two was for Bo-Katan, and to continue on her journey and her development. And three was for the flashback with Grogu on Coruscant. And, really cool to see Ahmed, who played Jar Jar. Obviously, that was a bit of a curse role for him. I know he got a cameo in episode 2 in the bar scene, where he was, just himself. And I know that he'd been doing some stuff on Batuu, the Disney park, where he played a Jedi in some, I think, video scenes. So it was really cool to kind of bring that into canon and see them use that. And, how many people saw the door open and the out-of-focus Jedi and they immediately thought, oh, it's Mace Windu, he's going to save Grogu. And it's no, Mace Windu is dead. Mace Windu is very, very dead. And I'm glad that, they were able to give Ahmed a bit of redemption in this way. Because, he looked really awesome. Those robes he had on were great. Kind of gold inlay in them. And then the Naboo. To see the Naboo help out. To see a Naboo starfighter. To see the Lats in live action. It was really cool, and again, it makes me yearn for a proper live-action Clone Wars show. That would be amazing. But again, I don't know. It just feels again this season, it's where are we going? What's happening? There's so much establishment, and again, I just feel they could have done so much better in this episode than falling back on the big monster attacks kind of trope. We've had that a lot now in this show. And even this season, it's this is the second time in 4 episodes that we've had the big monster attack the covert where they are. And again, it asks the question of, if this has happened before, why haven't they gone and killed this thing? Because they made it sound like it was this particular bird that was the one causing them all kinds of issues. So, why haven't they just gone and killed it? At that point. So... And how in the hell are they going to raise 3 baby birds? They're not small either, they're big. They want meat. They're not going to know the difference between, food and a foundling. This is dangerous. It's I get the fact that, they have a responsibility to the youngsters they find. But, I mean, it's a bit different, come on, when it's animals. Yeah. So, again, not a terrible episode, but I always kind of felt with this episode being the shortest, there was going to be some kind of an issue. And, again, I just feel it's just wasted potential. It's bad. You just feel it could be so much more. And that's always I think sometimes that's a little bit more disappointing than if it was just outright bad. But, you know, it is what it is. We'll hopefully see the next 4 episodes really pick up the pace, bring in the story that we're going to get for the rest of the season, and just see what happens. So, anyway, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.